David Downs.
Mr. Mayor, Councilman, my name is David Downs, 160 Old Browntown Road. For the past 33 years, I've practiced criminal defense in Front Royal at my office, 14 Chester Street. We are dying in this town. I'm not referring to COVID, where we've lost 7 members of the community. I'm referring to at least 13 drug overdose deaths in Warren County this year alone. There have also been 68 overdose calls reported by our Joint Drug Task Force for this year, 20 in April alone. Today, grand jury returned to Warren County Circuit Court. We had over 25 defendants in drug-related charges, and over half of the docket represented drug-related charges. This has been my area of expertise. I feel like I can speak with some authority before this body and the sheriff's office I work with, the probation officers that I've discussed in preparing for this report. Notwithstanding, no emergency director has been appointed, nor has this even been mentioned on a council's agenda, either here or the Board of Supervisors, to address an epidemic that has killed twice the number of our residents from COVID-19. Let's recognize that we have limited resources. We only have so much time, tax dollars, patience to respond to marches, protests, petitions, referendums. So I must ask, do drug addicts' lives matter? I'm here asking for your help before another 13 families lose a loved one. I have 13-year-old twins. I sure as heck don't want them to see one of their friends die from an overdose or see them go down that path. We can, at a minimum, address the demand side of the illegal drug business and let LEO continue their efforts to address the supply side. If there is no demand, the drug dealers are out of business. First, let's talk about it with our friends and loved ones who are at risk. Let's have that dialogue started. Pretending it does not exist or won't affect your family members or my family members has failed. Second, let's find a way to secure a detox center for our community. I believe Galax is the closest one, and that's 250 miles away. For those of you not familiar with the industry, that's when you have a client that is so out of it because of their addiction, they have no control over themselves and they need a detox center. Whether, unfortunately, it has frequently been jail, but detox where you have trained professionals to assist them through that detoxification is life-saving. And I've watched too many of my clients overdose after I've gotten them out of jail because they begged, they didn't want to go to jail. Third, let's encourage the building of a rehabilitation center or an Oxford House model in our community. I understand that nobody wants them in their backyard, but the struggle in getting help is real. Fourth, let's stop using probationers as confidential informants by the Drug Task Force and promptly have them advise their probationers if they have violated the terms of their probation. They're risking their lives, introducing them back into the same environment that got them there in the first place. It's happening. They say that it's not supposed to, but it happens. Fifth, let's increase education in the schools. The DARE programs were a good start. The epidemic is not unique to Front Royal, so let's not be ashamed of that fact. How we address it will be how we are remembered.
Thank you. I would like to thank
Mr. Downs for bringing up the drug epidemic. You know, I've been either on planning commission or on town council now for almost 5.5 years, and it's something that I've heard discussions about, but have yet to see any major initiatives undertaken in this community between the local government bodies and our law enforcement and community members. And I think that there is a real opportunity for such committees to exist. 250 miles away is a long ways. In addition to the drug epidemic and finding resources available for those individuals, it's behavioral health is another issue that our community faces, and it faces the same logistical challenge of being about 200 to 250 miles away for any centers of help. So these are two very important things that cripple the citizens of our community, and I would be happy to have further discussions with Mr. Downs and our law enforcement leaders on how we can work together in figuring out ways to establish resources, because I agree it is an epidemic, and it is something that's going to be tearing apart this town slowly but surely if we don't get a handle on it. So thank you.
and on Pine Street. As I was pulling out, there was a rather large pothole on Pine Street, and so I decided to do what I'd learned here at the town council meeting. I called town hall, let them know where it was, and that was late Friday afternoon, and on my way to the council meeting tonight, I drove by there, and it was fixed, it was repaired, so thank Mr. Boyers and his crew for me. So I think that's the way it's supposed to work, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes. So the other week, our meeting kind of got a little chaotic, and I was part of that chaos. I've privately apologized to Eugene, and I just want to take a moment and apologize to the public as well. Mayor, of course, was well within his rights to call a point of order. And so I just wanted to apologize to the public. David, I'm also very interested in the drug programs we can get started. Roanoke was able to do a really good job by combining resources between social services, law enforcement, government, that sort of thing. And so I think that's important as well. And that's it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Report of the mayor. I'd like to thank everybody that came up this evening and spoke and held to the 3 minutes, or pretty close, and want to thank everybody for that. Again, I want to thank Mr. Downs for coming and bringing the report that he brought. Is very, very good for us to understand all of these things, and I'm hoping that maybe we can all get together and work something out that might enhance this program. Also, I'd like to welcome Tim to you today, and hopefully I get to work with you for a long time. And so it's welcome to the board, and to the board of Front Royal, or to the town of Front Royal. And if we can help you in any way, please feel free to call upon us, because I know being a new person in Front Royal, you may need some help in some issues that we can all provide for you. So with that, that's my report this evening. Next item this evening is the proposal or deletions to the agenda. Hearing none. 7 is a consent agenda, which we have no items. Next item tonight is council approval of the Loomis Network, Inc. franchise agreement. Would you read the summary for that, please, Tina?
Council's requested to affirm on its first reading a request from Loomis Networks, Inc., DBA Segra, for a limited 5-year non-exclusive franchise and pole attachment agreement with the town to use the public ways to construct, operate, and maintain a fiber optic telecommunications system, the term of which can be extended for 4 additional 5-year terms upon successive agreement of the parties as presented. The agreement will commence upon approval of town council and execution by the town manager. Per the assistant town attorney, the agreement is considered an ordinance, therefore requiring 2 readings.
You say this is required 2 meetings, shouldn't it be a public hearing then?
No, this ordinance requires 2 readings.
Okay, all right, that's good. Do I hear a motion, please?
Yes, I move that council affirm on its first reading a request from Loomis Networks, Inc., DBA Segra, for a limited 5-year non-exclusive franchise and pole attachment agreement with the town to use the public ways to construct, operate, and maintain a fiber optic telecommunications system, the term of which can be extended for 4 additional 5-year terms upon successive agreement of the parties as presented. I further move that council authorize the interim town manager to execute all documents on behalf of the town.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, a roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Seelock?
Yes.
Councilman Cockrell?
Yes.
Councilman Gillespie?
Yes.
Councilman Holloway?
Yes.
Councilman Meza? Yes. Councilman Thompson?
Yes.
Motion carried. Next item tonight is item number 9, resolution to a COVID-19 infectious disease preparedness and response plan. Would you read the?
Council is requested to approve a resolution that adopts the requirement for a written COVID-19 infectious disease preparedness and response plan for Town of Front Royal employees under the jurisdiction of the Virginia Occupational Safety and Health Program. Revisions requested to the plan from council at the August 3rd, 2020 work session have been included in the attached plan.
Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move the council approve a resolution that adopts the requirements for a written COVID-19 infectious disease preparedness and response plan for the town of Front Royal employees under the jurisdiction of the Virginia Occupational Safety and Health Program as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, I'd just like to thank Laura McIntosh. I believe Laura was a major contributor in writing this plan. And for those of you that aren't aware, at last week's work session, there was mention that other jurisdictions had actually looked at our plan. So just congratulations to Laura for working so hard on this. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, Councilman Cockrell beat me to it, Laura, but I was gonna thank you as well. This is extensive. This is a lot of work, and as everybody's aware, the COVID-19 situation is in flux. And just when you feel like you have a particular area pinned down, something changes, and then you have to rewrite department policies and protocols. And so I just wanted to express my gratitude towards the town for being on top of this, and really being one of the first municipalities in our area to be able to roll this out in such a short time frame, as I know it's not easy work. So thank you for taking seriously the safety of our employees and your colleagues.
Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Seelock.
Yes.
Councilman Cockrell.
Yes.
Councilman Gillespie.
Yes.
Councilman Holloway.
Yes.
Councilman Meza.
Yes.
Councilman Thompson.
Yes.
Next item is item 10, deed of dedication, First Bank, West 17th Street. Would you read this synopsis, please?
On January 27, 2020, council approved and accepted a developer's cash escrow agreement with Sheets Incorporated for the town to complete the West 17th Street and Shenandoah Avenue intersection improvements by adding a slip lane and to acquire right-of-way from the adjacent bank property. Council's requested to approve a deed of dedication with First Bank for 594 square feet on West 17th Street to accommodate the slip lane to be constructed at West 17th Street and North Shenandoah Avenue.
Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move that council approve a deed of dedication with First Bank for 594 square feet on West 17th Street to accommodate a slip lane to be constructed at West 17th Street and North Shenandoah Avenue as presented.
Second. Who's second? Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, just one comment regarding this. It should be noted that First Bank donated that portion of the land, and I hope to have them at a next work session or other regular meeting to properly thank them for being great corporate citizens and corporate businesses in our community.
Good, good. Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Seelock.
Yes.
Councilman Cockrell.
Yes.
Councilman Gillespie.
Yes.
Councilman Holloway.
Yes.
Councilman Meza.
Yes.
Councilman Thompson.
Yes.
Motion carried. That concludes our agenda for this evening. We'll now go into a work session in the other room. Anybody would like to stay is welcome. We will not, I don't believe, have anything to bring forward tonight, will we? Okay, so do I hear a motion to adjourn? So moved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.